We'll let it take a minute to see if it sends out. It hasn't been sending out a lot of the social notifications I've heard, but let's make sure everybody gets their notifications, has time. Um, we haven't been on for several weeks, and so we probably won't get a lot of live viewers here. But this is Public Policy by Tour Collierville, and we are looking at Collierville, Tennessee, and all of the things that come with being a small town outside of a major metropolitan area, Memphis. We've been talking about that a little bit pre-show, and how relating to Memphis is or any metropolitan city is different for what we call a small town just outside. But this town is Collierville. As if you don't know, it is just booming with growth, economic development, education, just in every way possible. In most ways possible, it's growing. And we talk about that. We follow that here. We see what's happening in Collierville. We discuss it. So most likely you'll be watching this show. It'll be recorded and not live. So feel free though in the comments to ask any questions, even though it's a pre-recording, and we'll try to get to them the next time we're on the show, or either respond in the chat. So, hey guys, I think with this one being a little bit off for a few weeks, I think we can kind of mostly consider it almost like a recording. But welcome back. I hadn't seen you guys in a while. I hope you're both doing well.
I know. I didn't recognize you, Keith. You got a lot more down there. You're getting ready for No Shave November.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do then. I think maybe I'll just stop shaving my arms, But,
okay. Hey, don't like where that's going, but it does look good, Keith, for sure.
Thank you. So tell us, let's start with Maureen. Maureen, give us an idea of what's going on. Maureen is Vice Mayor of Collierville, and also active in the real estate community. And just give us why don't we start with you and give us kind of an update of what you're seeing happening in Collierville. I'll put you on the big side. How about that?
Oh boy.
There we go.
Ivan and big, Lord.
Yeah, tell us what's happening.
It's been kind of business as usual for us at this time. The budgets, we approved that back in July. Working on now plans for next year, starting in January. I believe some of the staff has already started working on budget. We've had a couple of meetings where we've made some votes and some decisions. One will actually involve the Economic Development Director position. So I'll let John share that news when we get there. But we have approved a contract just this past week to tear down that community services building that's located right off the square across from Lost Pizza. So that building will be coming down, and that will be additional parking. So that should help with the demand.
That's a pretty big building. That's going to create a lot of parking, I would imagine. Do you have any idea how many spaces that's going to create?
I don't know. And eventually soon we will be repaving the entire and making that nicer and restripe it and things. Yeah. So that will be a nice improvement.
No doubt.
Grisani's just opened off the square this week. So we need additional parking for that.
I had to park at Morton Museum and walk to Grisani's when I went there the other night. So it's definitely needs parking. Now, it's opening nights. Are they going to fill up every parking space every night forever? I hope they do. But they might not, but that night, definitely, there's a lot of people there. This was Tuesday night, maybe. So and it was full, and it was good. I'm glad they opened, and they seem to be rocking. They were on point, and so really happy to see them come in there.
Well, the pictures of the finish out, it looks gorgeous. Looks like it's a nice place.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's nice, and it makes you put an eyebrow a little bit about some of the PO Press stuff that was said there or whatever, because these guys clearly have come in and been able to do what they need to do and then make it suitable for a restaurant. So how it goes, but it sat there for a while, but they've done it right. And so I'm happy to see them there. I think they're the right folks to be there, the right brand to be there. It's really just really good. The building that they're taking down, are they gonna drop that with like explosives and implode it, or is it just gonna be a wrecking ball, or what's gonna happen?
I think it's just gonna be like I'm not believing a wrecking ball, just a backhoe tractor, and just come in and just start tearing it down. So we approved the contract, and they said they only need 20 days to have it completed.
Okay.
So
they'll be torn down in 20 days.
Yes. Once they get the equipment out there, they have 20 days to complete the project.
Okay.
Now, the Scare on the Square, the Halloween event, is coming up on October. I think it's the Friday the 20th, 21st. And so I let Derek know because that could be, just be aware if that's going on. You have the Scare on the Square. It's on the 20th. So I don't know if they'll start by then. But we can definitely use additional parking, and we have other parking area.
Well, that's good news. That's a good deal for sure. Good news.
Yeah. And we approved $3 million, Keith, for paving. I had to make a note. So we'll start working on the list, but we do have $3 million in the budget for paving. And again, Poplar Avenue is not our responsibility. That's the state. And we're trying to get them to do that as soon as possible because it's very bumpy. And I hear about that all the time.
Yeah. Maureen, I feel like the spend that was approved was a little higher than what it's been over the last 5 or 6 years. It looked like it was a significant investment.
Yes. We know we have to, as we have the money, that's where we need to put it because we're behind. And then our traffic engineer, Nitu, also worked on a road. They're calling it a road diet up off of Shelton Road in front of Crosswind Elementary School. And they were striping it this week while the kids were out of school for fall break. And what that will do, because it's a sea of asphalt. At one time, that road, 4 lanes, was the only east-west run, but then Wolf River Boulevard opened. So that's really no longer that busy of a street. So what it's being restriped, and it's going to have like a parking lane, a bike lane, and then 2 traffic lanes. So it's hopefully will make the road feel smaller and it'll make people go slower. So it has it. So it'll be the first testing of this road diet.
That's
so
interesting.
some people miss its information is on the town website about it, but of course not everybody reads that. So people are like, what in the world happened to the striping on Shelton Road?
Yeah.
Then now other people are commenting like, okay, we need to try this in this location and that location. So this is the first, and we'll see how that works.
Can you pass people in the bike lane?
You're not supposed to, no.
Okay.
No.
Dang. Yeah.
So those are some of the things that have been happening in the town.
Yeah, cool. So I'd love to hear about paving. I think that would be it's probably to me, and it's one of my pet peeves, but it's probably to me one of the primary things that we could do to really make the community feel more upscale. It is a small town, and you're going to expect that. And definitely we want tax dollars to go towards safety and security first, maybe education second, paving's third. We just need to, I'd say stop picking up the trash until you get the roads paved. It's because it just really will make the community feel a lot better. So I'm glad to hear that there's some money there. I hope that comes off as expected, and I hope we can, we need to talk to Paul and find out what's, what can we do to get the Poplar paved. I mean, what's the holdup?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is their funding, when their funding takes place for different projects. So he is very well aware. But if you want to call him, invite him to lunch or dinner, or just have a phone call conversation.
Yeah, find out what the scoop is. I'm sure he knows. It's not like he can, it's not like he can single-handedly make it happen, but I'm sure he knows what's going on and can give us an update. So yeah,
right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can switch to John, and John, tell us what's going on from an economic development standpoint, and then maybe we can kind of all group chat about some of the things that's opening and that kind of stuff. But what's happening? Anything big coming in?
Yeah, actually, there are some big things going on, but I'll jump back to something Maureen alluded to a minute ago. I have announced, and you guys, I think, know this, but it's out and it's more official now, but I've announced my retirement, with my last day being February 2nd, which is a Friday. And the town attorney, or the attorney for the Industrial Development Board, Josh Law, had reminded me that February 2nd is Groundhog Day.
Oh.
So I'm afraid I'm going to get into this loop of like my last day of work, So
we're gonna have to be a big deal. Like, did John see his shadow? Is he coming back to work, or is he going on to retire?
That's good.
He walks out of the office, and did he see his shadow? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I will have had 10 plus years with the town. I turned 65 in January, and then about 10 days after my birthday, I crossed the 10-year with the town line. So it's just a perfect storm. And I got the grandbaby, and Heather's pregnant again with number 2.
Congrats.
It's going to be a little boy. So a lot going on with family and friends and age. And, it's just, plus, with Jimmy Buffett passing away at 75, I sort of said, my lifestyle is probably more similar to Jimmy's.
Yeah,
Maybe I need to
right. Yeah.
maybe I need to kind of scale back. But yeah, it's been a good run here. I feel like I'm going to leave it better than I found it. Not that it was in disarray or anything like that. I don't mean it like that, but it kind of went from being thoughtfully directed to being more strategically managed. And I'm proud of what we've been able to do together to kind of elevate the brand and economic development in this community, and future's bright. So I know it will continue. So yeah, February 2nd, less than 4 months, my last day.
Congratulations, man. I think that's a big deal, and happy for you. And
Thank you.
absolutely, you've done a lot for the town. The town's going to miss you. And I'm sure that you and I will stay in touch. Maybe we can do some fun stuff. But yeah, I think that there's no question that the town's going to miss what you do there, and your personality. And I've heard from a replacement standpoint that there's some combining of maybe duties there with development director or something like that. Do you agree with that, John?
I think it's a good move. It sort of puts, so they're going to take the development director who's over codes, planning, all of that whole group on the other side of the building.
Who is that?
That the director of development, they're going to take that job.
Yeah, we haven't had one for about a year. We've been recruiting.
Okay, so it's not. So there's not a person. There's not a name. No. Okay.
It was a guy named Jay Cravens, and before that, it was Jason Gambone, I believe. But that person is over that whole other side of the building world. Important job, but they're going to combine that job with my job, and kind of put that person in the middle where he's, not necessarily working both sides of the street. That's a wrong way to say it, but somebody who's working with development and the process and growth, as well as promoting and marketing and branding and growing, sort of kind of a combo job, which I think makes a lot of sense. And I think they'll be able to find somebody to do that and do it well. So I'm encouraged, and I'm more than happy to come back and show the new person where all the files are and where all the bodies are buried, because I know they're going to say, where are all the files? I know where the files are. If you want, I'll challenge you. Ask me to find something, I'll find it in 30 seconds. But I can imagine somebody coming to my office going, what?
They're gonna be like,
I'm sure I'll be around helping people.
What's this moon? What's this moon file? What? They're gonna be like, what's a moon missions? I don't understand. Like, we got some Elon Musk was in here. We don't. But
hey man, I'll tell you something. The Major League Baseball group out of Nashville, he reached out to me the other day. I was like, wow. To tell me that Oakland is now moving to Vegas, and Tampa Bay is getting a new field approved. So the third thing that needed to happen was the expansion, and Nashville is the front runner for an expansion franchise. So he called me to tell me that things were moving forward, and part of that strategic plan for all that would include minor league affiliates. And I don't know how it would work. I don't know how it would be structured.
Right.
All I know is we got the land, we got the infrastructure.
Yeah.
How could we maybe figure this out? So that's what's kind of.
I think the community would really get behind that. I think that'd be a really cool deal for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I've already named the team, and he liked that because it's going to be the Nashville Star. And I said, we should be called the Collierville Comets. And he goes,
you're right. Yeah.
I like that. I'm like, so.
Yeah, there you go. Right. It falls right in line with your moon missions too. Yeah.
Exactly, man. Yeah, Keith, it's all coming together.
Yeah. So the comets, they burn out, right? So you could be like, it's the slogan could be, it's better than burn out than fade away, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
But you could be their marketing guy. So.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think we would put our hat in that ring to help with marketing if they came here. So, Maureen, is there a target date to hire this combo position, or is there a title named for it? Are we going to try to get him in before John is gone? Or
ideally, it would be great to have him in before John. And just for the record, I have not accepted John's resignation yet. I keep telling him that, but I guess I don't really have a say. And, he's done a great job, and he will definitely be missed for sure. But the new position is and John helped me out here, the Director of Community Development and Director of Community and Economic Development.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of a combo platter, come in the middle. It makes sense to me.
And part of it too is we have strong department heads over there. I mean, we have Jamie Gross as our Director of Planning, Dale Perryman, the Director of Engineering, Tim Pendleton, the Director of Codes. So those three still will run their department, and they've been doing a great job. Adam Hamrick, who's our assistant town administrator, has been kind of overseeing them. But Molly needs him back and doing more of the admin for the town overall. So this is somebody that hopefully will, and hopefully we can find someone. We just hadn't had any success in finding a director of development. And so this is a combination. So we'll see. Hopefully, I don't know if John has anybody in mind or if he has done any recruiting or mentioning. I've been trying to rack my brain to see if there's anybody out there, but they will do a search, put it in all of the magazines and literature and all of the affiliates that Molly and TML and Tennessee City Managers Associations and even broader. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I hope it's soon. Yeah. I mean, I hope that kicks off and find the right person. I think it would be beneficial to spend some time with John. I know John's offering to come back, but I got a feeling he's, going to be on a boat somewhere. So,
He's be on the golf course somewhere, right, John?
Yeah. I only can play so much golf, but I'm looking forward to doing that. I sit on the board of directors at Windike Country Club, I enjoy that. So I'm involved with my club, and this will get me a little more involved because I'll be around more. So, yeah, so we're excited about that. Also excited that the IDB approved a 6-year pilot for Campbell Clinic, who will be going from a lease of 25,000 square feet next door to Baptist to a 30,000 square foot build to own facility there at the corner of Poplar and Bailey Station. They're going to do about $600,000 worth of right-of-way improvements in widening that road, and also fixing the intersection with a new turn lane, new lighting, which is important for Poplar as well as that elementary schools back there. So improving that intersection is a big deal. They're going to retain 48 jobs and add 22 new jobs. So there's 70 jobs ultimately involved with that. This is $16.5 million capital investment. But I think the important thing is going from a lease to we want to stay here and we want to invest here. And that's what they're going to do. And, that's an iconic brand. Literally Dr. Campbell invented orthopedics back in 1901.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yep. And when you talk about Campbell Clinic, it's a worldwide brand. And to me, it's kind of cool that they're going to be right in our community with the signage. And they see over 200,000 patients a year at Campbell Clinic, and about 20 to 25% of their patients go to the Collierville facility. So there's about 45,000 people a year coming to Collierville. So there's economic impact, and pretty important partner for a long time. And they want to make an investment, and I'm proud that they are. And here we go with that. In the meantime, if you've driven down,
but that's a big deal, because obviously there was tragedy there, right? And so to come back over the top from that and say we're going to double down on Collierville, we're gonna expand. That's a big deal. I mean, I'm not sure that I wouldn't be saying, hey,
Keith, you're exactly right. You're insightful. That's one of the things I have always liked and respected about you. The CEO told me that the tragedy gave them pause as to, is this where we want to be? So yeah, but they have fought through that and worked through that, and here we go. So I'm proud that they're going to be part of our business community, because their impact is going to be pretty important. And then in the meantime, Keith, if you haven't driven down Bailey Station across from FedEx between Houston Levee and Winchester lately, the site where the Oracle Customer Solutions Center is going to be, that 500,000 square foot facility, that $77 million project, they have cleared that land and they are doing the grading and drainage work as we speak. It is a massive site, and it's pretty exciting to see that going on.
Yeah. I have not seen that. I haven't been down that way, or either I hadn't paid attention. But that's cool that's cool. Starting. A lot's happening in that area of town there, whether it's Poplar or Winchester, right? That's just kind of where a lot of business, commerce, and things are starting to grow, which is natural. You got this Houston Levee and you got this Byhalia, and for them to start to grow together, makes sense.
Well, you're right. And if you've driven down Poplar at Schilling Farms lately, not only the SOB restaurant opened a couple of days ago, and like Grzani's on the square, their finish out is gorgeous as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a foodie place, and they're open
You
for
said,
lunch.
yeah, Maureen said, I think she's going to lunch there, today, tomorrow?
Tomorrow I stopped in because I couldn't find a phone number, and I stopped in and made a reservation for lunch. So
Awesome.
it looks nice when
It's nice.
the outside's gorgeous. So
It's
we'll see.
nice. And behind it is part of the water tower district that Boyle is developing with more restaurant, retail, owner occupied products. So you see that going up. A lot of people are asking if that's multifamily. There will be some multifamily there, but there's also going to be a lot of owner occupied products. So Boyle continues to invest and grow and bring quality products to town. And I really feel like Schilling is kind of the central business district of our town because you got all the corporate headquarters there with
Right.
IMC, Mueller, MCR, Helena. In fact, I had a meeting with Helena the other day, and I always kind of thought Helena had about 300 people there. And they told me there's 385 people there.
Wow.
So they have grown up because when they first came back in the early 2000s, they had about 260 people. So they've grown 100 plus people over the years. But Schilling Farms continues to grow and elevate, which is pretty exciting.
Have you heard anything lately about Juice Plus? There's some rumors of some turbulence over there. They doing okay?
I don't know. I know they're basically essentially back at the office, which is always a good thing for a variety of reasons. But as far as where they are with that facility and their business model and leadership, I do know they've got a new CEO who came from that industry. I don't know what his plans are as far as the future of that building. It's a nice building. It's 45,000 square footer with a gorgeous garden in the back. It's nice, and they've been a long time solid partner for the town. So I don't know, Keith. I need to do a little recon on that.
Yeah, I hope that everything's good over there and growing, and just hadn't heard much about them lately. But just I know businesses, everything changed through COVID and ups and downs and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of checking in on that when you hear a couple things. But so yeah, the things are growing. What's the big thing, man? Like you got 4 months and you're going to go out with some sort of a bang, right? So I mean, what's happening?
Well,
Publix.
I've shared with you previously about the latest with Publix. I put a phone call into my contact there a week ago and haven't heard back, and that's kind of I need to catch up with him by the end of the week kind of deal. So I do not know the latest other than they are looking to possibly come back to this market, being the Memphis suburban market, like they had planned before, Germantown, Bartlett, Collierville, and Lakeland. So we shall see. But, we've got everything they're looking for. We got the market, the demographics, the land, the infrastructure. So we'll see.
Did they pull the plug on all of it?
They did.
Okay.
They did pull the plug on all of it. Gosh, now a couple of years ago. I have to get my file out and look at that. But it's been a while. And since then, things have elevated for this community. So I think we have a better story to tell them today than we had 2 years ago. Yeah, that will be, if I could make anything happen before I leave, that would certainly would be one right there. So we'll see. I mean, I'm always optimistic about things like that.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be good. I think it'd be a good addition to the community, although, it's I don't think we're necessarily hurting for grocery stores like in a we got pretty good coverage with Kroger and that kind of stuff, but it would be good. It would be a milestone, I think, to bring in someone like Publix, another, strong regional, almost national chain,
It would be. And, my analytics sometimes is different from their analytics. And I think I told you previously, they said they not only want to put one store in Collierville, but they want to put 2 here. And that sort of made me sit up in my chair and say, 2? Can our market support 2? And they said yes, which sort of made me take pause and regroup a little bit about the numbers I look at and what I think I know versus what they look at.
And if you look at it from their perspective, they only need the market to support 2, not 4.
They need our market to support 2,
but to support 2 total. They don't care about it supporting 4. They care about it supporting 2 total. So
Correct.
they don't care if Kroger loses business and comes over to them and there's only two standing. So they don't need it to support four.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they understand they're pulling those people are shopping somewhere now, and they know
yeah,
they're going to pull that base.
exactly. And
Yeah,
as we continue to grow, approaching 60,000, and as more and more people are moving here and coming here as a regional hub. People forget sometimes that we are a regional hub where people from
yeah,
Fayette County and DeSoto County and Marshall County and Cordova and Arlington and Millington and Arkansas, believe it or not, come to Collierville for a variety of reasons because
yeah.
we got the products and services they want. So you can't discount our status as a regional hub. So I think that plays into
And
it
it
as well.
can support four. I'm just saying their perspective is different than ours. When you say, "Oh, you're bringing two," we think, "Well, can the community support four?" They're not looking at it that way. They're saying maybe it's three, or maybe I mean, that's just when you talk about those differences in perspective.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that a Publix coming will change the outlook from Kroger as well. You'll start to see upping their game a little bit. That's just what competition does,
Yep,
right?
you're right.
And so you're going to see price wars start a little bit, and things like that start to happen, and the floors are going to get a little cleaner, and it's going to, not that Kroger doesn't do a great job, and they've really dedicated after their tragedy as well. So not that Kroger doesn't do a great job. It's just
Right.
the nature of capitalism, right? You put some competition in somebody's back door, and things change, for the better for the public. There's no downside to the public of Collierville for competition coming, whether that's Publix or somebody else, right?
Right.
We saw it a while back with who was it that was here? The St. Louis brand,
Schnucks.
Schnucks. Yeah, when Schnucks was here, things were different. So much so that Kroger said, "I got to buy you to get you out of the way." And so things change with competition. So if you can pull that off, John, then I think that would be a great way to go out and know that you've got a feather in your cap there of a milestone. That'd be your hospital. That'd be you're bringing up a hospital, right?
That's my job one, even though I've got two other economic development opportunities on my desk that are pretty significant. So, like I said, people are continuing to look at this market and show interest in this market and wanting to invest in this market. And that's a testament to all the work everybody does to make this place desirable. And I went to a EDGE. EDGE is the Shelby County Economic Development Agency that we work with. I went to an EDGE breakfast this morning, and people asked me, "Well, what's going on in Collierville? How's it going?" And I said, Collierville is like a blue chip stock. We're not doing that, and we're just this steady Eddie, consistent quality every year,
Right.
paying a dividend. Johnson and Johnson, Coca-Cola, 3M. We're this blue chip stock that people are interested in investing and being part of, and I know that that's going to continue.
Yeah, I think stability is the key. I mean, that's it definitely is, and it's a testament to how the town is made up. It's of the way that it's split up, and the way the map works, and the way there's industrial, and the way there's business and professional, like you're talking about, and then the residential and the areas that it's set up, and of course the commitment to police and security and those type of things make it steady, and make it able to withstand up and downs a little bit. So right now, I think that's the perfect way to explain it, John, from a blue chip stock type standpoint.
And another comment, I played golf the other day with a guy who's 85 years old, a retired L'Oreal executive at Wendike, 85. I hope I'm playing golf at 85. But after like 3 holes with him, I said, "Can you see where your ball is going?" He goes, "No, that's why I depend on you." And I'm like, "Okay." So
Yeah.
I texted Melanie and told her I was playing golf with a blind guy because every time he'd hit it, I have to watch where his ball went. But I go, "Where do you live? You live in Collierville, right?" He goes, "I live in Collierville." "Where do you live?" And he lives in the apartments in Schilling Farms, loves it, loves the convenience of it, loves the access he has to shopping and restaurants and things like that. And I'm thinking, here's an example, everybody, of who's living in our apartment product. It's an 85-year-old retired executive with grandkids nearby. So that was kind of cool. And he loves living over there and loves Collierville and loves Wendike. So it was fun being with him, even though after about 9 or 10 holes, I was like, okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I don't know. Let's go find your ball.
Yeah, right. Yeah. At that point, you just start putting some in your pocket and throwing them down. There it is.
Man.
Right.
And one time we were like right next to him. He goes, "Where is it?" I go, "It's right there." He goes, where? I go, right there. He's out of the car looking around. I'm like, ah, it's right there. But I didn't say it like that.
Right. You're like, are you driving home, sir? You're not driving, right?
Yeah. He, great guy. It was fun.
Yeah.
Fun day.
No, that's fun. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So apartments, that's a whole other thing that we could get into, right? But, that seems to be a hot button for Collierville. But as we wrap up, is there anything else, Maureen? You've been kind of quiet for a while. Anything else you want to?
I'm just enjoying the last few months with Mr. Duncan.
Yeah.
My understanding is Chick-fil-A. I know that Chick-fil-A is kind of a little hot button, but last I heard, I haven't seen any official plans. But the discussion is that at this point, they're still going to be pursuing a location at Poplar and Bray Station.
Mhm.
In that, I don't know what the name of that little cut through is over there by the Magnolia Homes Design Center and a new assisted living facility going in. So I don't know what that street is called, but
I think it's Cartwright Way or Cartwright Avenue or something.
That's it. Cartwright Way.
But the Chick-fil-A plan there, I feel like it's solving a problem that they have at the current location, and their new location has a very robust parking and drive-through plan, and I feel like they are going to solve the problem. And I applaud them and commend them for doing that. So that, I believe that's kind of going back through the process, Maureen, after some changes and some updates. And some recommendations for us to make it work.
And I haven't heard anything more about the proposal that was initially talked about for a second location at Houston Levee and Wolf River. I believe at this point that's a little quiet. I do believe there's another franchisee who wants another location in Collierville, but it doesn't sound like it may not be happening up at Wolf River and Houston Levee.
I know there's a lot of pushback, petitions going around and all that type of stuff out there for, they do not like dead chicken in that area. But I do think going down by the hospital is a good move or closer to it. And, you're seeing Chick-fil-A. I mean, there's a Chick-fil-A where we go in Arkansas and they just completely wiped it out in the same location and they're rebuilding right back there. The format has changed. It's much more drive-through. People aren't going inside, smaller areas. So now the traffic is even more exaggerated, right? It was always been a big drive-through place, but it was also go in there, the kids are playing and you got the play areas and all that kind of stuff. And there's parking, and now it's not. Now, they're really downplaying that. So it's all about how fast can I get people through, which is causing them to have a different format. And so having another location to say, okay, I want to build this location so I can keep revenue coming through while I figure out what I'm going to do with the old location, whether I tear it down or whether I rebuild into a different format or whatever. It's just business. It just makes sense. And the locations are there. They've got the means to do it. They're good for the community. There's nothing, I don't see any downside here.
Well, Keith, they've been a long time taxpayer in this community. They put a lot of money into our sales tax and property tax coffers, and they've certainly been a community partner as far as donating and participating in programs around town. So they have been the epitome, quite frankly, of a good community partner. And I feel like they've also are working now to solve a problem. And like I said earlier, I applaud them for all that. And I'm bullish that it's going to work out and it's going to be better. Everybody will be better for it because of the things they've tried to do.
Yeah, I agree. Good chain. You're not going to get a much better chain, but it also opens the door for what happens if, now that we've freed this up and we've shown that it can work and figure it out and there's new places, what now is the door back open for Whataburger or whatever and expansion and that type of stuff. So it makes sense from that standpoint too, for the town to kind of embrace it, so if there's any petitions, let's stop that.
There's some concerned residents on Bray Station. I got a packet the other day from one who is kind of who's a very well-respected gentleman who lives on Bray Station, and their concern is the amount of traffic, the route people will take to get to the new Chick-fil-A. My first question is, what route do you take now to get to Chick-fil-A? If you live in, say you live in the Stables, how do you go to Chick-fil-A? Do you go down Bray Station now and then just make a left to get to Chick-fil-A? And so it's a whole traffic concern is what they're focusing on now. But again, I haven't seen anything official from Chick-fil-A. No decisions have been made. It's just that's what I'm hearing is that's the area they're focusing on, and not so much right now on Wolf River and Houston Levee.
And that's a process, right? I mean, anytime you're going to build something, you have to do a traffic study, you have to submit that, the planning commission has to look at it, and all that has to happen, right? So until you really even know what that's going to look like, it's kind of premature to object to it. I think. I mean, you got to kind of see what it is, and then understand and trust the town that we've got a good planning commission that's going to make sure that everything is protected there, and you've crossed all the I's and dotted all the T's. And sometimes the residences, you have to look at what's best for the community, because it does really boil down to, at the end of the day, if we don't grow, you're going to pay more taxes. So how do we handle the controlled growth? Because it's one way or the other. Either you're going to pay these businesses to not come here by paying more taxes, or you're going to allow the businesses to come and those taxes to help fund the town. It's one way or the other. You're going to pay them not to come. That's what you got to figure out. So, individual pockets of residences have to figure out how that affects that. And sometimes you just, you got to take one for the team, it's the whole community here. That's what community means. So I'm big on that. When growth comes around, my question is not, do we do it or do we not do it? It's how do we do it? How do we find a way to do it? Because that's the only way that, our property taxes aren't more than our mortgage. So anyway, that's my pet peeve. But yeah. So thanks, guys, for being here today.
Good seeing you.
It's good seeing you guys and putting up with my rants.
Looking good, Keith. Looking good. I might grow a beard in November.
You should do it, man.
Melanie says every time I grow facial hair, she wants to call me evil John Duncan because I look like some bad guy in a Star Trek episode or something.
That's all right. I think that it would be awesome for you to have a big beard when you do the tree lighting and all that kind of stuff, and you're up in front of everybody. That'd be a great way to go out. You should just go ahead and be Santa Claus. You should just embrace it and be both.
I got the stomach for it. I know that, but
you couldn't. You're too little for.
You should do both sides. You should just be like, Santa Claus, how was it coming in here? It was great. just get you a big old beard.
Speaking of Santa Claus, our public works department is starting on the square this week, and they're out there now starting to hang Christmas lights.
No gosh.
And it takes
a cool time of year.
Yeah. And then we also will be decorating for fall here soon. So
the Christmas parade's less than 2 months away.
Wow.
It's hard to believe it's this time already.
It really
I saw some. Thanksgiving's like 45 days away. Am I making that up? Something like that. 45 days out.
Yeah.
Christmas
is I think it was, we're doing for our clients. We do, obviously in marketing. So we're planning all of the Black Friday marketing and sales that all our clients will be doing. So I know yesterday it was like 44 days away because it's like, we're looking literally at how much time we have to pull all this stuff off. So yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
Wow. Hard to believe.
And getting back to something we were talking about earlier, the alley there off Town Square. I thought the Arts in the Alley event a few weeks back was great. More people than last year. The music, the pages were there. The food was good. The lights, the artists. That is a lot of fun. And Maureen, I know you're intimately involved with all that, as is my wife, Melanie. That was a first-class, fun, cool, unique event. And hope that continues, and I think it will. So that was a lot of fun.
That's good. We couldn't make it this year for the first time in several years. And so I'm glad it went well, though. It's good to hear it went well. So
it was a lot of fun. A beautiful night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Anybody have any questions as you see this, put them in the comments, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.